Welcome back to more The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. Last time we helped Pamela and her father, so this time we're making our way to Ikana Castle. Using the Gibdo mask, we'll be able to talk to the Gibdos who are guarding the doors. Leave it. Leave it. Leave me something delicious to chomp on. Something that sprouts when it's watered. Preferably 5 of them. Ah, this. I bear you no remorse. Using the items we gathered up earlier, we'll be able to trade them with the Gibdos to gain passage to new parts of this area. Next up, we want to go through the right door over here. Leave it. Leave it. Leave me something that makes a blinding flash, preferably 10 of them. Ah, this, I bear you no remorse. As a reminder, in the 3DS version, instead of 5 magic beans and 10 Deku Nuts, you only need 1 of each, so it's a lot more convenient in that version. Alright, our next stop is the northern door. Leave it. Leave it. Leave me 10 refreshing blasts. Ah, this, I bear you no remorse. In here, we have to fight another big Poe. It's the same fight as before, but I actually find this one a bit easier because the room is smaller, meaning it's actually easier to keep track of the big Poe in general. Sometimes it's still a little bit tricky because it can actually clip through walls, but once again, we want to use arrows. I also would recommend not Z-targeting like before because again, I find it's actually very difficult to lock on to the big Poe, so it's actually easier to just manually aim like so. Once again, about 4 or 5 arrows should be enough to defeat it, and we actually need the big Poe to get past another Gibdo later on. Even though our ultimate stop is the northeast part of this area, we actually do need to go to this area just for the big Poe. You caught a big Poe in a bottle. This may lead to something good. There's also the western section of this area, and to be honest, there's not really anything over there, to be blunt. You need a blue potion to get there, and the only thing of note over there is actually a fairy fountain. So you generally want to stick to the eastern part of this area. Next up, we want to backtrack over to an earlier room over here and then go north. Leave it. Leave it. Leave me something deliciously fresh. Ah, this, I bear you no remorse. Straight ahead, we have yet another Gibdo. Leave it, leave it. Leave me a ghost, a big one at that. Ah, this, I bear you no remorse. And past all of these spikes, we should have one more Gibdo over here. Leave it, leave it! Leave me something rich in calcium. Ah, this, I bear you no remorse. In here, we have a sun icon and a block with a sun on it, along with a ton of unlit torches. So let's light them all up. It's times like this I actually really miss Din's fire from Ocarina of Time, because that would definitely speed up this process here. You got a mirror shield. It can reflect certain kinds of light. Press R to assume a defensive position. If you press R while Z targeting, you can move while defending yourself. So we can use the light to activate the block and the switch. And with that, we've made it through the well. All that's left is to climb out of this side of the well and see what awaits us at the Ancient Castle of Ikana. I'm going to make a quick stop over here to restock hopefully on hearts and arrows, because we'll need a lot of both, to be honest. I'm a little bit worried about how well or poorly this could go. I remember a specific spot being a little bit tricky. Alright, over here we actually have a sun block that we can actually get through the other side of now in order to get a shortcut over here from Ikana Canyon, but here we want to head inside. Using the Gibdo mask or the captain's hat, the re-deads in the area will actually perform dances and won't attack you. If you defeat them, they'll drop a ton of rupees, so if you need rupees, this is definitely the go-to place to stockpile. Here, we want to melt one of the switches. In here, we actually need the Deku mask for something. We want to quickly run over to this Deku flower, dive in, and then when the ceiling starts to fall again, we can actually push it back up using a launch. Now we want to quickly go over to the switch on this pillar over here. So that takes care of this room. Next up, we have a very interesting room. I'm actually going to unequip the fire arrows because we don't need them for now, and I'd rather conserve magic for a bit. We want to, first of all, deal with a couple of Skulltulas in the area. It's actually a little bit tricky to reach them from this spot, but we got them. And next up, we can either use the Deku Flower or the Lens of Truth to get through the rest of this room. I'm going to opt for the Lens of Truth because it'll be a little bit easier. And now we have to carefully platform over to the other side. Again, you could fly over there, but all the mines would make it a little bit tricky. We dodged the enemies that would have cursed us, but actually I discovered if you play the Song of Storms, it will actually clear up the curse faster. It will go away on its own, but for example, if you need to use the sword and are cursed, yeah, you can play the Song of Storms to clear it up way sooner. Alright, next up we want to go to this outer ledge, and then drop down to find another Deku Flower. And from here, we want to fly over to this switch. Moving that block will shine a light on a different part of the castle, so let's head back inside. First of all, let's equip the Gibdo mask, so the Redeads will leave us alone. And yeah, they do respawn every time you re-enter, so again, if you want to stockpile rupees, this is a great place to do so, actually. But next up, we want to go through the southern door, so let's melt this next switch over here. I think I also want to equip the bunny hood for something coming up shortly. And we have a Floor Master and another block. Let's actually deal with the Floor Master first, like so. It will actually split into smaller hands, so be aware of that. That's definitely terrifying. I'm not a fan of this enemy, if I'm being honest. They are also vulnerable to light as well, if you want to use the Mirror Shield. And we have even more dancing Redeads, so again, might as well pick up some more rupees. Also, the Redeads and a lot of undead are actually very vulnerable to light, so now that we have the Mirror Shield, that helps quite a bit at times. Alright, let's equip the Bunny Hood. And we have another fight with a Whiz Rope. This time it has fire attacks instead of ice attacks, so be aware of that. Overall, it's basically the same fight. And now we're on to phase 2. Again, find the real one and deal damage quickly. That was not fast enough. I actually might use arrows just to be a little bit safer here. I can't remember how many arrows this would actually take. Probably 2 or 3. That was very close. I forgot there were Redeads in this room. So let's equip this, defeat them once again, and hopefully also find a few hearts in these jars, because I would like to have full health for something coming up later on. There we go, plenty of hearts, and we should be good to go. Also, let's head back to the roof. we're at a very different part of the roof this time, and we actually want to equip the powder keg and the Goron mask. Here, see? You always miss things like this. Take a look. The rocks are cracked here. Let's also equip the bow to speed this up a little bit, and the Gypto mask. Back in the main chamber, we actually have a ton of light to get past this block finally. Before we head through here, I'm actually going to swap out the Gypto mask. First of all, we need fire arrows. I want the bunny hood also readily accessible, and I also want the captain's hat. Oh, insolent one who has brought the unthinkable into a land as dark as Ikana. My servants have fallen namelessly before the light that guides you. However, the darkness in which my servants live is, after all, fleeting. You shall see with your own eyes just what kind of thing true darkness really is. We have to fight the King of Ikana and his lackeys. First of all, you can stun them with sword attacks like so, but we can't defeat them yet. We actually have to shine a light on the situation. So, when they're stunned, we'll be able to use the Mirror Shield to finish them off. Let's wait until they get a little bit closer, like so. That's one down and one to go. Oh, Kita! Is it not Captain Kita? But you're so... tiny! I was nearly fooled by what you have done. So that's a cool little Easter egg. So the king actually can detach his head and use it to try to slow you down as his body tries to attack you. Try to dodge the head, and once its body and head merge back together, you can deal damage again. It's the same fight, except this time he's a little bit tougher, but we still have to use light to defeat him. He also has this, like, breath attack, so let's dodge that, and try to land a few more hits to take him down. You're blocking me! Get out of the way! I can still get him! Blocking you? The reason he beat us is because you were so feeble. Don't blame this on me. What? Just try saying that again to my bony face. Feeble, 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 feeble. Shut up already. Grr, don't look at me. I was once called the best swordsman in all of Ikana. The greatest swordsman in all of Ikana? You, feeble. Draw your weapon. Huh? I'm telling you to draw your sword. How? Will you stop? What fools! Haven't you begun to understand? The kingdom being ruined and us left in this state. Isn't it petty little battles like this that have caused it? Believing in your friends and embracing that belief by forgiving failure. These feelings have vanished from our hearts. It all happened after somebody thrust open the doors of that stone tower. You who bring light into darkness, I am the king of Ikana Kingdom, Egos du Ikana. The spell binding that had been cast upon us was broken by that light you carry, the light which you carry. To return true light to this land, you must seal the doors of Stone Tower where the winds of darkness blow through. But Stone Tower is an impenetrable stronghold. Hundreds of soldiers from my kingdom would not even be able to topple it. It is far too reckless for one to take on such a challenge. And so, I grant to you a soldier who has no heart, one who will not falter in the darkness. You learned the Elegy of Emptiness. It's a mystical song that allows you to shed a shell shaped in your current image. By playing the song while wearing masks to assume different forms, you'll be able to leave up to 4 empty shells, one for each form. The soldier who has no heart is your twin image, a shell of yourself that you will shed when your song commands it. On my kingdom, shine the light of justice. With the Elegy of Emptiness, we'll be able to reach the stone tower. One thing worth mentioning is, all of your forms do have shells. However, the Deku Mask is actually not light enough to be useful for that many tasks. It's usually used to weigh down switches, we'll see that later, but you'll mostly be using the human form, the Sora form, and the Gohan form with the Elegy of Emptiness. Alright, I'm making a quick check here to restock on items. I was hoping for hearts, so we are good to go. And we are officially done with the Ikana Castle for now. Just to demonstrate that the captain's hat works for this too, and also that light is very effective against the undead. Wow, we are almost up to 500 rupees already. We'll easily be able to afford the mask on the third night. But yeah, we're essentially done here. Alright, let's warp back to the Ikana Valley. And yeah, just to demonstrate over here, you'll be able to access the other side of the sun block, meaning you won't have to go through the well anytime you want to go back over to the Ikana Castle. Alright, our next stop is the stone tower itself. So from here, we want to scale over to the structure that looks like a face. We have to carefully run up this ramp here. So we have to scale the stone tower to reach our final temple. So we'll be taking care of that next time, so thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.